This will go over selection. I'm going to create a few objects by clicking on the cube, selecting the Move tool, which is W key, holding down the Shift key to clone them. And I'll make a Marquee Selection. Click and drag with the left mouse button. And that creates Marquee Selection, and there's some more, and even more. And I'll drag it upward even more. Grand old mess of stuff in 3D space. Let's go over selecting things. An easy way to select a group of items, of course, is the Marquee Selection. Good practice is to jump to maybe a top or side viewport. Let me look at the side viewport. If I just want the bottom ones, it's easier to do that when you're staring at the side viewport. And then you could always right-click to make the perspective viewport in focus and jump back to it in full. If I wanted the top, even without getting full in this viewport, you could just Marquee Select like this, right-click to focus this viewport without deselecting the objects, and then you could press the spacebar to get back into that viewport full size. That's one way of selecting things. For objects, you also can use the Lasso Tool right up here. And that allows you to just draw out this lasso around things. Fun, right? So another way you can select. This is the outliner. We'll look into the outliner later on during the semester. The outliner is also a way to select items. Right now, let's just deal with things we could do in the viewport. I want this group. I selected that group, but that one went away. Hold down the Shift key while using this tool to add to that selection. And hold down the Shift key to remove from the selection. That takes care of the object level ways of selecting things in the viewport. I'm going to make a new scene, don't save. Next up is the sub-object level of selecting things. To do that, go zoom in, right-click, go to the vertex level. You're doing a lot of work on the vertex level when it comes to refinement. If I try to select a cross-section like this, and I go to the side viewport, see that it's not cross-section. It kind of went off to the side because the selection set is based upon the camera. It might be a good idea to either select things from the top or side viewport depending on what you're trying to do. Like this. And this gets me the top selected. If I want to adjust the ring and around the center, Marquee Selection around here. And the Marquee Selection is accomplished by clicking the left mouse button and dragging out a selection. To remove from this selection set, hold down the Shift key and drag over what you don't want. To add to the selection, hold down the Shift key and drag the marquee, and you add to the selection. Another cool thing that you can do, since this is a sub-object, let me click off here and I'll go to full screen here, is you can use the Paint Selection tool. Whoa! Got everything at once. Why? I'm going to undo that because the brush is so big. We'll be exploring brushes in different ways throughout the semester in Maya. All the brushes in Maya behave the same way. Hold down the B as in blue key and drag to the left and right to increase or decrease the brush size. There's also a magnitude sometimes for the brush, but not in this selection, and that would be M for magnitude. Right now, B as in blue to make brush bigger or smaller. With the brush smaller, you can then just paint around what you want. Now, I held down the B key with the brush, and that increased and decreased the brush size. The B key is also used to toggle between soft selection. What's soft selection? Let's say I had a bunch of these vertices on top selected. And now I switch to the Move tool, which is the W key. When I lift up these vertices, there's a one-to-one relationship of everything moving. And when that happens, you get these ugly ridges going on in your model. If you press the B key without clicking anything and has nothing to do with the brush B key, that turns on soft selection and you see this heat map of selectable area. I lift this up, see this object acts a little more springy, rubbery. If you now then hold down the B key and the left mouse button, that increases and decreases the fall-off area of the soft selection. Soft selection acts like a brush. B to toggle off and on, soft selection, and then holding down B and dragging left and right with the left mouse button will increase and decrease this selection set. Soft selection is great when you're doing organic surfaces. If this was an industrial design that's not organic, you might not want soft selection, or you might want soft selection on, but a lot softer. This way, the fall off is more gentle. And that concludes selections in the viewport. I'm going to right click, go to object level, and delete the object.